Hey guys, MetalJesus here, and I'm back again with Kinsey.
And we are here to talk about 10 great Switch games under $20.
I know, this is going to be awesome. Let's take a look. Before we get started, I want to thank our sponsor for this video. It's a company called Satisfy that makes really awesome Switch accessories.
Yeah, and actually, when you told me about this, I realized I already used their grip.
I know, me too. I was so excited.
Yeah, it's like my favorite grip because not only is it super comfortable, it's easy to take the Switch out, which is great if you want to dock it, but it also fits in the case that they make.
Yeah, this is the brilliant part about this. So you never actually have to remove it if you don't want to. They basically make two cases depending on what your needs are. So you have the slim one right there, which is designed kind of more for everyday use. It basically holds 10 physical games. It holds the Switch with the grip. Put it in the backpack, you're ready to go. Now, I actually have the more like travel ready one. It's the Elite one.
That's the big boy.
The big boy. And what's cool about this holds 20 physical games, but more importantly, actually, it also holds the brick. You can put the power brick in here. So when I'm traveling to expos, I can actually power my Switch. It's awesome. So if you guys want to learn more about Satisfy and some of the products that they also sell cables and things like that. I'll put links down in the video description below. All right, so what's your first game?
So my first game is Donut County.
When you told me about this, I was like, what the heck?
This game is so amazing.
Yeah.
It's a puzzle game, and the premise is that there's the character Mira, who's a human, and then BK, who's a raccoon who work at this donut shop. And BK gets super into this new app that he can deliver donuts to people. And if he gets so many points, he gets a quadcopter. And that's like all he cares about.
A quadcopter.
Quadcopter.
Okay.
And so he's answering this app like, oh, so-and-so wants me to deliver donuts. So he does it. But in reality, he's not delivering donuts. He's sending a hole to wherever that person is to like scoop up their trash. And as you like get more and more and more, the hole gets bigger until you're swallowing like people and fireplaces and houses.
You do realize how crazy this sounds when you describe this game, right?
Like I'm nuts.
I know, it sounds so crazy. But when you play this game, you see the brilliance of it.
Yeah.
You kind of described this as
it kind of like a reverse Katamari.
Right. Yeah, so that's the thing about this is that you're kind of like Katamari, well, you don't have a hole in there, but your ball, you're essentially what you're collecting keeps getting bigger until like houses fall in and fences,
like mountains.
Yeah, it's crazy, but it's so much fun.
Yeah, and what's cool about this one is it starts to add little puzzle elements to it as well.
Yep.
There's points where you have to empty out ponds.
That took me forever. I was stuck. I know.
And then this is gonna sound even crazier. You fill your hole with water, and then you take it to a bird to get rid of the water.
That's the puzzle I was stuck on.
And eventually you get like catapults and trampolines and all kinds of things that you know power up your hole.
I'm not okay.
Anyways, but the writing is fantastic. The story's so good.
Yes.
It's totally worth it.
The gameplay is just as addictive as Katamari, and it's different enough to where, kind of like what you said, it's its own thing. Like, you can play it, and it's not too long either.
No, I played it all in one sitting.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
It's like maybe...
You got addicted.
Yeah. It's like maybe 2.5 hours. But any game where raccoons are trying to take over a town because they want all the trash is a game I want to play.
I just love your description of that game. It's so hilarious. All right. Okay, so moving on to my game here is a game that some of you might have heard of. I just recently discovered it on the Switch. I hadn't played it on any other systems. That is Unravel 2. And they spelled 2, T-W-O. And the reason for that is because, unlike the original game, this one adds a cooperative element to it. Now, you don't have to play this game cooperative. You can play it single player. However, why would you do that? Because this game is brilliant as a co-op game. Have you played this yet?
No, but it's so cute.
It is. So basically you play as a guy as a little ball of yarn, and you have this trail behind you, and in this game you're always connected to your partner. Well, you're almost always connected to your partner. And you end up basically, it's a platforming game, beautiful graphics, but it's very puzzle based. So every single screen you're trying to figure out how to get to the other side or figure out some sort of puzzle, and it's so much fun. Rebecca and I were playing it last night for way too long. It was so addictive because you basically end up working together to try to swing the partner or traverse all these crazy puzzle. It's awesome. You guys are looking at the footage, you'll kind of get it, but Yeah, super fun. And also, it's a kind of game, too, where you can kind of screw each other over if you're not paying attention. Yeah. Because when they're swinging, you are holding the rope tight, and you have to kind of let go at the right moment, and you might splat them in the wall or fling them off, some crazy direction. It's a brilliant game, so love it.
Awesome, because I really like the first one, and the graphics are beautiful.
Yeah.
I can only imagine it being co-op and just amazing.
Yeah, it's really cool too, because it's kind of realistic as far as the level design goes, because you're in the forest, you're at the park, you are in houses and stuff like that. But it's also very fanciful because there's some weird kind of backstory going on. It's got everything. It's really cool.
That's awesome. And my next one is Gris or Gris.
Okay.
Pretty much everybody says Gris, even
That's
though
what I was like,
wrong.
Yeah.
Because it's like gray in Spanish.
That makes sense. Okay. Okay.
But it's a platformer adventure game that is based on this girl named Gris, and it's actually a story about loss. So when the game opens, she's like in the hands of this like statue, and she's trying to call out, but she can't, and then it crumbles, and then she's in this like colorless world.
Okay.
So as you're going through the game, you're actually going through the different stages of loss and grief. And you are slowly adding colors back to the world.
Oh, positivity.
It's so nice.
Yeah.
And since there's no dialogue in the game, you can basically have it be about any struggle. And you could, whatever you're going through, it might match up, even though it's loss. And it does add additional gameplay elements as well. So like, there's parts where you'll get an extra power where you can turn into a block. And that actually has a really powerful scene, probably my favorite scene, where you're trying to walk through a windstorm, and when you first encounter the windstorm, you can't go through it. But then once you learn the block power, you have overcome that hurdle. And it's really beautiful.
Yeah, I've seen some gameplay footage of this, and it does look really stunning. This is kind of, I've said this before in other videos, I like the fact that some game developers use the medium to do things more than just, shooting people or whatever. You know what I mean? It's like they're using it as an art form, almost kind of like movies, to tell stories that are, in a very unique game kind of way.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Definitely, because it never outwardly tells you it's about loss. So if unless you know, it's going to be about whatever you want it to be about.
Interesting.
Because there's parts where like you encounter like this big black mass that eventually becomes a bird, and it hinders you on your way. And while you're trying to solve puzzles, it's being annoying. But it can like change into different shapes basically, and it'll like, there's one point where you're trying to get up from the sea. The sea is black sludge. I think it's kind of like...
a bunch of metaphors.
Yeah. I think it's like when you're about to get up and then you hit that low point.
Okay.
And then you're trying to crawl back out, but this thing's like sucking you down and you have to like get through it. And what's cool about this game is, I don't even know if I could die during this scene. I have no idea. But it felt like I could.
Yeah.
When I'm going through it, I was just like, oh my God, I gotta get out of here. Like,
very cool.
Yeah, it's so awesome.
I'll have to check it out. The game I chose is called Valley, and Valley's on a bunch of different systems, but it just came to Switch. I checked it out. It's unlike anything I've played so far. It's so cool. So basically, it's a first-person adventure exploration game. You play as an amateur explorer that basically is trying to hunt down a life seed, and you're not really sure in the beginning what a life seed is. But you end up in this valley, and it's kind of lost. It's a lost valley. You wake up there, you don't really know where you are. You stumble upon what's called a leaf. Basically, it's a mechanized suit.
Cool.
That gives you the ability to jump really far in the beginning of the game. You get to upgrade it later. You get like a grappling hook, stuff like that. However, what you're really trying to do is figure out why this military base on this remote valley was trying to harvest the life seed and build weapons from it.
I would also like to know the answer to that.
It's so weird, right? And get this, the suit allows you to take or give life. So for instance, you'll come across a tree that's dead, and if you have enough life points on your person, you can actually restore the I know.
That's so nice.
Yeah, or you can also take away, like for instance, you can come across an animal or whatever, you can suck, if you need energy, you can suck up its life. It's a trippy game. However, it's super addictive. Actually, I will tell you, of all the games that I've covered in this video, I kept coming back to this one because I had to know what was going to happen next. The way it works is that you're basically just kind of platforming, exploring. There's a little bit of light shooting, so to speak. There's a little bit of light puzzles, but really it's all about exploration. It reminds me of a little bit of BioShock, about how you would find those lost messages where people would be talking about like the past. You do that a lot in this, but also it reminds me a little bit of Metroid Prime in how you explore on the worlds with Samus. It's a really cool, weird game. So I don't know, I liked it. So definitely check out Valley.
And next up for me is Pikuniku.
I'm glad you pronounced that. I didn't know what that was.
This game is so fun. It's super like kind of happy and colorful, and I just really like the opening to this game because you wake up in a cave and this like ghost who's a little sassy is just like, hey, like like, oh, get up. And once you get out of your little cave, because he's like, it's dangerous to go alone. Take my full moral support because I'm a ghost and I got nothing to give you.
Okay.
Good luck on your adventure. But you get out of the cave and you realize that you are this like fabled beast. Because you're the beast who sleeps in the mountain.
Okay.
So you get out and you encounter this first town and they sell like beast merchandise. But you basically have to prove your worth, make them see that you're not the scary beast that they saw in folklore. But that's kind of where this beast thing ends. But
okay.
But so in this world, there's a big like super mega corporation that is run by the greedy Mr. Sunshine. And his thing is he thinks more of resources as wealth as instead of money. So he's tricking the population into be like, hey, I'm just gonna come and take your junk. But by junk, he means your corn or your trees. And he's like, but I'll give you free money.
Is this an RPG or what is this?
It's a kind of a puzzle platformer adventure game.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but when he's like, free money, people are like, yeah, Mr. Sunshine's here to give us free money. And they like totally don't realize he's taking all the planet's natural resources.
Never trust someone called Mr. Sunshine.
Who's giving you free money.
Yeah. From a corporation.
Yeah. So eventually you like meet up with this like underground resistance who like sees Mr. Sunshine for what's really going on.
Okay.
And then you join up with them and help them out, and it's really fun. And they also have a co-op mode, and there's like I think 9 levels that you can play in co-op. And this game's super like whimsical and fun and colorful, but it does have that like, ooh, there's this big scary looming corporation. So it has some like big story things and, you know, kind of heavy ideas, but it's so stinking cute.
Okay.
And just remember, you are perfect.
Okay.
It means something.
I know, I'm sure it does. I have not played this game, so. All right, next up for me is a game that I reviewed a couple years ago on Steam. It's a really excellent twin stick shooter. It is called Assault Android Cactus, and on Switch they have a little plus there. So it's a game that basically got it got all the content from the other versions, and it got a plus mode, which is basically like a campaign plus mode where they randomize all the different levels. But you guys are looking at the footage now. It is basically Smash TV, kind of arena battles, you know, kind of like within like one screen or whatever.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it's all twin stick shooters. You have 2 different weapons. You have basically like a heavy weapon that you can't use all the time. You are a robot cop, I believe, that basically has a little battery at the top. You need to watch your energy. What's really great about it is that it's full 3D, so it has beautiful graphics. And also, too, the levels change as you play. So, for instance, you'll be playing along and all of a sudden the lights go out. And then only certain parts of it are lit up, and also you have to not fall off the edges.
Keeps on your toes.
Very much so. It's a very intense game. It's very challenging, but there's a lot of content here of a lot of different robots that you can unlock. It's super fun. It's got online leaderboards. It's got everything. If you like twin stick shooters, you definitely have to check this game out.
I like twin stick shooters and I like robots.
Oh, you would love this game.
Perfect. And next up for me is a game that many people have been waiting for it to come to the Switch.
Yes.
And that's Cuphead. As of this video, it had like basically just come out, and Cuphead is absolutely stunning. It's based on I think it's called the Rubber Hose. God, I hope that's right, because that sounds ridiculous.
Oh, is that an old cartoon?
Yeah, it's a style of animation that was used by Disney and a lot of other companies back in the 1930s.
Yeah.
And it just looks absolutely beautiful. The animation style is smooth and flawless, and I know that some difficulty went into that because that kind of animation style runs like way below 60 frames per second. So to bring it up to that was its own thing.
Oh, interesting.
And with this game, the premise is that you are Cuphead and Mugman, or Cuphead or Mugman. But anyways, in the beginning, you go to this casino and you're having the time of your life, and then you end up making a deal with the devil because you think you are on a roll. And of course, once you make a deal with the devil, you roll snake eyes. Wah wah. So then Cuphead and Mugman like plead that in order to repay that debt, they have made another deal with him to go around and be his debt collectors.
Okay.
So you're going around to these different bosses, and each boss is a debtor to the devil. And if you beat the boss, then you get their soul and it'll sign the contract. So you're going around, I think there's about 15 different bosses depending on how you play. And there's boss battles, but there's also run and gun levels. So where you're more like platforming and shooting, and
Right.
I personally find the directional shooting that you can do a little clunky.
Yeah.
But the animation's so good, I almost don't care.
So this game, when you mentioned it was going to be on this list, I know this game is notoriously difficult. How did it work out for you?
So the weird thing about this game is you can play it on regular or simple, which is a little bit patronizing. But if you play it on simple, you can't actually beat the game.
Oh.
You can only go so far.
Oh, so maybe kind of like a training sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like a training thing.
Okay.
But simple is so hard. I can't, if I try playing on regular, I die, really quick.
You know, it's funny because when this came out for the Xbox One, a lot of people when they would beat it, they would post on Twitter and Facebook and be like, oh my God, I just beat this game. It was an achievement in their life. You know what I mean?
It really is.
Yeah.
Because one thing I found about this game is I've just been playing it on simple because...
Well, they'll learn it. There's nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing wrong with that because it's still difficult on simple. And... I mean, what I liked about it is it's kind of pattern memorization. So you can replay a level and it puts you back in pretty quickly, so I didn't tend to get too frustrated.
Yeah, that's nice.
And if I did beat one, it felt real good.
Yeah.
I know this isn't a game I'm going to be able to beat, but that's okay.
It's cool that they brought this to Switch. I think I think it's going to get a whole other audience here. I think it's really cool. I haven't personally played it myself. It's simply because I've heard it is really difficult, and I just know for myself I need to put the time into it to really beat that, and I just haven't had the time. So maybe on the Switch I'll pick it up for sure. So
yeah, and you can play it co-op.
Yeah.
So make it a little bit easier with a friend. Not that much easier.
We'll have to try that.
Maybe they're just in your way.
Does it have friendly fire? We'll have to see.
Yeah. But it's super beautiful, and if this is a game you've been, waiting on because maybe you don't have an Xbox One, maybe now's the time to get it.
Yeah, that's cool. Next up for me is a game, Shantae and the Pirate's Curse. Now, this is a game that's been out for a couple years because it originally came out, I believe I have it on the 3DS. And the Shantae games, the first thing is that it was kind of a dormant 2D platforming series back on, I believe, the Game Boy Color or something like that. It was a long time ago. And then Way Forward basically brought it back. And this is the third game in the series. And it's just classic 2D, 16-bit graphics, platforming. It's got puzzle aspects of it. It's a little bit kind of like Metroid in that you do a little bit of backtracking. You have to kind of upgrade sometimes to either find hidden areas or get to where you need to go. I adore the main character. She's so feisty, so funny. I like the fact she uses her hair to whip.
I know, I wish I could do that.
I know, me too. I'm growing it out. Let's use it as a weapon. No, but it's a game that a lot of people are familiar with. Maybe you don't realize it's on the Switch, or you don't realize that it's, basically under $20, or I forget what the price is exactly. It might be exactly at $20, but it's a classic for a reason. It's really well made. Way Forward make excellent games. They always have, in my book. So it's just a no-brainer. Just go check it out.
And they're on a roll with those Shantae games.
I know. Actually, yeah. I mean, they put out another one. I forget what that one's called. A Half Genie...
Half Genie Hero?
Yes. And then also, I think they're going to kickstart a 5th one or something.
Nice.
I know. So, yeah, very cool series. Definitely check it out.
And next up for me is the Red Strings Club. And so this is a cyberpunk adventure game, and it's sort of a visual novel-ish. And you might notice that we might be pixelating some stuff in the gameplay footage.
Yes.
And
you warned me ahead of time, and
yeah.
so the pixelate tool in my video editor is going, full time.
Yeah, it's going to good use.
Yes.
This game is pretty M-rated.
Okay.
It's got a lot of swearing, a lot of nudity. But, I mean, when you're set in like a cyberpunk, not really post-apocalyptic, but kind of that kind of world, you're going to be swearing a lot.
It's true.
It's set in a world where there's like kind of a mega corporation that supplies these implants that people can use. And people are all about them because you can enhance your physical appearance or, you know, make yourself more persuasive in business meetings or make yourself famous online. Like, you can do all kinds of things with these implants, so why wouldn't you?
Okay.
But one person who didn't is the bartender named Donovan. And he's the one you play as for most of the game. And he's also an information broker, which is a great job for a bartender because people tell you all kinds of things, especially when they got drinks in them. And he's a very special kind of bartender because his drinks can play off people's emotions. So you can mix drinks that'll play off, like, for example, lust or depression, anxiety, madness. Like, you can play off all these different emotions in order to get different reactions out of people, which will yield you different information. So it's a really handy skill to have if you're trying to get information out of people about this mega corporation. Because, like, part of this game is that there's, of course, this mega corporation. And so, of course, there's the, like, resistance who are against said mega corporation. So, I mean, that's basically what it's about, is kind of figuring out what their secrets are. Are they unveiling this new thing that's going to destroy the humanity? Who knows? They're a mega corporation.
That's all they do!
That's all they do!
Well, okay, so that's so funny that you brought up this game because my last game is also a visual novel that is cyberpunk, and you play as a bartender. It's so
what
funny.
are the chances?
I know, it's so funny. But I originally saw Valhalla at PAX a couple years ago, and I saw its art style, and I talked to the developer, and I was like, sold. So your game is very M-rated. Mine's a little bit more PG-13. Not that there's anything wrong with that, you know, I'm just saying. But you'll see more footage of mine here. But basically, yeah, you play as a bartender, and you kind of hinted at this. That the brilliant thing about a game that is story-driven, that has you playing as a bartender, is that there's so many different characters go to a bar, get drunk, and tell their story. And it's just a... You know, it's a mix of every kind of character, and this game is all about characters. So I want to say right off the bat, I've tried playing visual novels in the past.
I have as well.
Yeah, and I always get bored. I always feel like I'm clicking the next button. You know what I mean? It's like the dialogue is taking too long. I don't care what they're saying. Get to the point. Keep moving the story along. With Valhalla, it's the first visual novel game I've ever played where I was just riveted. Every character, the dialogue, I was sitting there going, can you say that in video games? Like, it was crazy stuff. It was so much fun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, it's from the whimsical to the really kind of heartbreaking, you know, and it's so well written. So I've been really impressed with Valhalla. I think you guys will too. It's a really special game. Again, if you hate visual novels or you haven't liked them in the past, give it a try. So that's another 10 games that are really fun to play on the Switch that are $20 or under.
And you may have noticed this is sort of like part 2 to a video we've already done. But, I mean, the Switch seems to have, like, endless under $20 fantastic games. Oh,
I know. It's funny because if I don't pick up my Switch for like a week or two and I go back into the eShop, I'm like, oh my God, you're just like scrolling forever. It's really well supported by both big publishers, indie developers. It's awesome. It's awesome. So we'd love to know down in the comments if there are other games, which we know there are, that you would like to see in upcoming videos. Let us know because obviously we're big fans and we'll probably download them actually.
Yeah.
So where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Kinzilla, Kinszilla, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
Yay! All right. Thanks very much for watching, guys. Thank you for subscribing. Take care.